Coliseum is one of the most played maps in Halo 5 Guardians. The map is essentially symmetric and currently is used to play Slayer and Capture the Flag matches in the HCS, the Halo Championship Series. Coliseum features two iconic power weapons located across from each other at the map's 50-yard line. In the so-called Yellow Tower, we have the Spanker rocket launcher. On the other side, the Green Tower is home to the Sniper rifle. Because of how powerful these weapons are, teams playing on Coliseum will often design a game plan to prioritize picking them up. At the beginning of a match, you often find a team discussing who will rush rockets and who will rush Snipe. Some teams will split up and try to get both, while others will send everyone to one side to maximize their chances of securing that weapon. At Halo Recon Data, we wanted to know how important really is it to get the first power weapon pickup, and is it better to focus on one rather than the other? So we looked at 1400 matches on Coliseum played by pros and top amateur players to see if we could figure out any trends from the data. For each match, we noted which team picked up rockets first, which team picked up Sniper first, and which team ended up winning the match. In about half the matches we looked at, the two teams split the power weapons at the beginning, each team getting one power weapon. The team that picked up rockets first ended up winning more often, but just slightly, at a 51.5% rate. This meant that the team that picked up Sniper first won only 48.5% of the time. While this does slightly favor rockets, it's not very significant, so the power weapon you pick up at the beginning of the match probably won't affect the outcome. Over the course of an average 7-minute match, so many different things happen that the opening salvo is drowned out by more important things closer to the end. In the other half of matches we examined, one team picked up both power weapons first, leaving the other team empty-handed to start the match. The results are surprising. 54.4% of teams that got both power weapons at the beginning of the match actually ended up losing that match. This is pretty unexpected. Common sense would tell you that securing both power weapons on the map at the beginning would give you the best chance to win, but common sense would be wrong here. We're not sure why it's better to pick up neither power weapon at the beginning. Perhaps it's because successful teams focus on setting up in advantageous positions on the map instead of rushing for both power weapons. Or maybe it's just because picking up a weapon first doesn't mean you actually got to use that weapon. While these results were interesting, they just weren't conclusive enough. So we dug deeper. Instead of looking only at which team picked up a power weapon first, we turned our attention to how long a team held the power weapons for in a match. We often hear about power weapon control, but let's measure what that actually means. The average team on Coliseum holds a rocket launcher for about a minute per match, while holding the Sniper rifle for about a minute and a half. This difference is expected since the Sniper rifle has more ammo and takes longer to dispose of. To quantify the impact of power weapon possession time, we looked at a team's time of possession relative to the average time of possession for each weapon. Teams that held rockets longer than the average team won 62.4% of the time, while teams that held Sniper longer than the average team won 65.5% of the time. The effect is slightly more pronounced for Sniper rifle, but both cases show that holding power weapons longer than the average team increases your odds of winning. But power weapon control is more than just holding the power weapons for a long time. It also requires you limiting your opponent's time of possession of the weapons. So next we looked at how a team's time of possession relative to their opponent's time of possession impacted winning. Holding the rockets longer than the opposing team resulted in a win rate of 66.1%. Holding the Sniper longer than the other team resulted in a win rate of 70.9%. Holding power weapons longer than your opponents is clearly a winning strategy, but what's most notable here is how holding Sniper longer confers a greater advantage than just holding rockets for longer. Looking at the distributions of wins with respect to relative time of possession between teams, you can see how the Sniper distribution contains more wins and is shifted further to the right. What this tells us is that the best way to maximize your chances of winning is to make sure you control the Sniper rifle longer than your opponent. To wrap things up, our analysis on 1400 matches played by professional and top amateur players in Coliseum showed us that there's not a very strong connection between getting power weapons first and winning the match. In fact, you might be best served not picking up either weapon first. When comparing time of possession for each weapon, the data shows that holding either weapon longer than the average team or the opposing team increases your odds of winning, but holding the Sniper rifle longer than your opponent is a strategy that will most often lead to victory. Therefore, our recommendation is to not worry about the initial rush to get power weapons, but instead set up for the longer game. Design your game plan around limiting your opponent's time with the power weapons, and focus primarily on controlling the Sniper rifle. We hope you found this analysis useful. If you want even more details, head on over to our website to read the full article. Follow us on Twitter so you don't miss out on our future reports. This is Halo Recon Data, and we thank you for watching.